All right, we're going to bring up our first feature of the night. Enchilada, a.k.a. Angela Nichols.
Hey, Angela.
She is a self-published author, her latest title being the spoken word Billboard Award-winning Living My Romantic Comedy.
Yes.
And she also enjoys performing. She is the hostess of Poetic Catnip, an internet poetry venue, and the co-host of the Spit It Out writing workshop. When not in front of a crowd, she can be found learning about her favorite topics, from cats to the characters on her favorite TV shows. Without further ado, Miss Angela Nichols!
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to PHR 201, Tools of the Trade. One of the most important tools in the professional hopeless romantics arsenal is the romantic comedy. Now, these tend to have a little bit of a formula. They start, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back. What's usually so interesting about them, though, is the type of people that get together and the way they make it from beginning to end. For example, one of my favorite romantic comedies is Music and Lyrics. This poem's called Ode to Music and Lyrics. Music and Lyrics is my favorite movie, although I think it would behoove me not to watch it almost every day. I'm a hopeless romantic, what can I say? Alex Fletcher is an 80s star whose gigs are coming few and far between until he gets a shot to write for a singer who is hot. Then he meets Sophie Fisher, who has a way with words that makes her an ideal assistant to help him out. And soon he begins to care about her feelings and like her quirks and helps her get over a real jerk that she used to love but made her feel as if her talent wasn't real. Now, when the singer of the song starts to interpret it all wrong, Alex and Sophie start to argue, and it looks as though they're through until he writes another song just for her. And it's not long till they make up and work together on, presumably, forever. In my dreams, my heart goes pop, and meaningless kisses never stop. Back into love I dance tonight, and will not write off, finding Mr. Right. That last stanza had references to songs from the movie. Now, even movies that are remakes of each other can have subtle differences when they introduce the characters. There was a movie called Shop Around the Corner with Jimmy Stewart, and the characters met as pen pals. And not knowing that they had been writing to each other, when they meet in person, they don't hit it off so well because they're rival clerks at the same department store. So this was remade a few years later with this generation's Jimmy Stewart, in my opinion, Tom Hanks, as a movie called You've Got Mail. Instead of letters, they met over emails in the early days of America Online. And instead of, when they meet, being rival clerks at the same store, they're actually rival business owners. He runs a big chain bookstore and she runs a little independent. Now, since my last book is titled Living My Romantic Comedy, if I was in a romantic comedy expressed by my poems, my introduction might be like this piece: me. Sometimes I wish I wasn't me, but I don't know who else I'd be. Sometimes I wish I was into sports or listening to political reports. Sometimes I wish I didn't have my rather loud but joyful laugh. My dark hair and eyes I'd trade for colors of a lighter shade. My stocky frame, on a whim, I'd give away for one that's slim. But I'm the one that has to see what the mirror reflects to me. So I'm the one who has to say the way I am is really okay, because I have so much more to give and so much more life to live. Now, as the two people start working on whatever situation they've been put into, at least as audience members, we start to see that there is a personal connection forming. This one's called Poet. Poet, I want to be your poem. To know that you think of me night or day, guiding me along the way, protecting me, perfecting me, never once neglecting me. I want to see you perform me. I want to see how my words move you and watch the change in your expressions. I want to hear you recite me and catch the inflections that reflect your affections. I want to taste the nourishment that giving you attention brings and know how satisfied my development makes you. I want to know that I've touched you, that you think so highly of me, you need to express me. I want to breathe in the audience response, knowing that you've shown them a piece of us. I'm here, if you ever want to take the time to write me down. Usually, before either member of the couple can admit the connection to each other or even to themselves sometimes, something happens with the situation and it looks like they're not going to get together after all. This one's called clinging. It said I'm going to have to give up some of my favorite memories. The first time I had butterflies in my stomach over a boy across the street. The first time I met a guy who I thought had everything I wanted. The first time I laughed because somebody said something flirty to me. The first time a guy gave me a reason to take a second look. They all got replaced, and I can't help it when I miss your company, but like a flower that's picked from the plant, this feeling is starting to wilt. I thought it was so pretty. This meal is starting to spoil. It tasted good going down, but I can't let it go mold. There's too much of it left. The song is being played off-key. The words are meaningless being misinterpreted. I just wish I could play my favorite rendition continuously, like the memory of a summer's day. With this decaying going on, there's an odor rising. It's a warning that if I don't let go, I may be soon unable to breathe. I just wish it would rain, like in the springtime. Dead matter is disgusting to touch. It deteriorates under the slightest pressure. Can't you build something to stabilize it before winter ravages it again? What am I thinking? Of course you can't. This dying is just part of the cycle going on around you. So you're enjoying the pretty fall colors. I'm the one falling. Raked away like a moot point. At least you're spared the pain of getting over someone this time. This kind of scene is usually followed by some kind of time-passing montage where each of the characters is doing a little soul-searching. This one's called Don't Shut That Door. Yes, I opened that door because I thought it would lead to a room full of comfort, a place that served the best perch in the world, that had the most compelling artwork I've ever seen, that played my favorite music softly in the background, that smelled like vanilla and lavender, reminding me of my mom, and had so many chairs you couldn't help but curl up in and drift off into dreams. I didn't find that place, but don't you dare shut that door. The place I did find is full of overcooked vegetables, poetry and pictures I don't understand, loud music and rude shuffling people, sense that makes me want to get sick to my stomach and not a place to sit down, but I need to be here, so don't shut that door. I need to be able to see back into reality where things are not always roses and rainbows, but they're better than they could be. So don't shut that door. I need to quit taking things so personally, so don't shut that door. I need to remember I'm unique, and that things are not always going to appeal to me, but that doesn't make them wrong. And the reverse also applies, so don't shut that door. I need to experience things before I can have endurance, so don't shut that door. Whatever you do, just don't shut that door. Then the movie usually ends with one member or the other doing something special for the other to show that they really do want to be together. This one's called The Perfect Day. This sure felt like the perfect day. You went with me to the library. We sat in the back corner of the little cafe and shared my favorite treat. Then you walked around with me as I picked out my books and CDs and even carried them in the car. Then we went back to my house where we listened to a couple of the CDs and even let me read you a passage out of one of the books. You made one of my favorite meals for dinner and even kissed me for the first time as you said goodbye. I went to sleep thinking, you usually complain about how boring you think libraries are and that you don't get a chance to read unless you're sick. You tease me about liking pop music and country and show tunes, and you don't really like seafood very much. In fact, you're allergic to shellfish. And I had nothing to compare the kiss to. What made today so perfect was I get to return the favor tomorrow. And then the credits usually roll. Do I have time for some more? Okay. This is one that I kind of use to help keep my spirits up by reminding me exactly what I believe. You know, it's, if you were here for my last seminar, it's like when you get into phase 4, that you need to rededicate yourself to the cause. This is one of the poems that I like to use to do that. It's called Love Burns. Unrequited love does not exist. Its memory in me will not be missed. Does not exist. I refuse to believe. will not be missed, all love is received. I refuse to believe, I will have my turn. All love is received, although it can burn. I will have my turn. My patience is tried. Although it can burn, I will be purified. My patience is tried, its memory in me. I will be purified, unrequited love. Let's see. I think I remember that one. No, better try. Okay. An unknown man walked up to me and asked me, "Is it you I seek?" All at once, to my surprise, my life was flashed before my eyes. When it was through, I took a breath, and shakily I answered, "Yes." He replied, "I have been sent to help you cope, to help you vent." I looked at him, and my first thought was, "Oh my God, he's smoking hot." I saw him blush, but if he heard, he never said a single word. Just raised my chin to look in my eyes and said, "There's something you misrealize. Things grow in stages, grow in seasons. You are the way you are for all the right reasons. You were once a seed, closed off and contained, and that way you very well may have remained, if not for the people you've gotten to know. First, your mom and your brother helped you to grow, and with each new friend, you learn something new about who you are and what you can do." "I know that," I said, and I honestly try to remember whenever I feel like I cry. "Just keep believing," he said, "and you'll see. You'll bear fruit eventually. Right now, you're a seedling. You need tender care, especially since your flowers are so very rare." "Me? Rare?" I gave him a smile. "That's nice to hear once in a while." "It's true," he said. "You have a good eye for noticing beauty in many of your styles. Some people let that go to their heads and kill their proper features dead." He looked extremely sad and whispered, "They're not all bad. Just remember the stories, things that you've heard for yourself, stories you keep, like the books on your shelf. To grow, things need rain as well as sun, so don't give up when you're not having fun." He started to leave. I felt like a dope. "I didn't catch your name." He replied, "I am Hope." Okay, this one is one of my favorites because it was inspired by a line from one of my favorite TV shows. I don't know how many of you watch Castle, but there was a line in there, something to the effect of, "Risking our hearts is what we're alive for. The last thing you want to do is look back and say, if only." So this one's called "Risking Your Heart." There is an art to risking your heart. By the time that you're done, you'll know that you have one. I find this to be true from my point of view. It starts in the mind when someone is kind. Some people just wear their hearts on their sleeves, and others are just too good to believe. So if you think you found the one, there is a test you have to run. Their passion should focus on you. So no matter what you do, don't just stand there with your heart in your hands, because if you drop it and it lands on the ground and gets stuck flat, you just have to remember that you aren't stupid because you cared. Your feelings just weren't shared. So pick it up, dust it off, and my advice, please do not scoff. Just those black spots, polish them. They are the facets of a gem, and somewhere, some way, somehow, although you cannot see it now, someone will take great pleasure in your very valuable treasure. For like a masterpiece, it's meant to be exhibited lovingly. So right now, you may be really lonely. It's really much better than if only. Ended.